Well, it becomes that time of the week when we get together with Michael Snyder out on the left coast of the United States and check in to see what's happening in the movies. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Alex, and hi, everybody. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving break. We are in the middle of the holiday season and heading toward Christmas, and that means awards style and awards worthy movies are starting to come out, and let's get to a few of them. One of them, by the way, is opening wide. We already discussed it. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I do recommend you check that film out. But now for what's opening this weekend. The big question with The Shape of Water is, what if the cheesy 1950s science fiction movie The Creature from the Black Lagoon was actually a reciprocal love story between the creature and the damsel he pursues? And director-screenwriter Guillermo del Toro delivers something close to that concept with The Shape of Water. This is outstanding, heartbreaking, sometimes scary, and del Toro's best film since Pan's Labyrinth in 2006. It's set at a secret U.S. government lab facility in the early 1960s in Baltimore when the Cold War is in full dudgeon. Russian spies could be lurking in every alley, and both sides are seeking a technological edge in the arms race. Now, I really, really enjoyed del Toro's Pacific Rim, which was a previous film he's made, but I wasn't blown away by the one he made just before this one, Crimson Peak. This, on the other hand, is fantastic in all senses of the word. Sally Hawkins, who's kind of an appealingly quirky British actress who was in Happy-Go-Lucky, Blue Jasmine, Layer Cake, and other quality films, plays Eliza, a mute cleaning woman at the lab. Can't talk, feels like an outcast, has 2 friends, essentially, her sassy fellow mop wielder Zelda, played by Octavia Spencer, and a gay neighbor played by Richard Jenkins, who is, both of them are fine. So anyway, Eliza and Zelda swab and polish their way from one dreary shift to the next until Eliza stumbles onto the lab's great prize, an amphibious creature with astonishing physical strength and other powers that begin to manifest the more Eliza interacts with him. Yes, it's a him, and he is brilliantly played by Doug Jones, the monster in Pan's Labyrinth, Abe Sapien, another amphibious guy in del Toro's 2 Hellboy movies, and now the stuffy, high-strung alien Lieutenant Saru on Star Trek Discovery. The creature in Shape is tormented by the American scientists, and particularly by Agent Strickland, a cattle prod-wielding CIA type played by Michael Shannon in some obvious casting. I mean, you've seen Shannon do a variation of this conflicted bastard in more than a few movies and on HBO's Boardwalk Empire, but it never gets old. He's so good at being this bad guy. Anyhow, Strickland's mission is to weaponize the creature, even as Eliza begins to tame this kind of otherworldly thing and communicate with him. Something's got to give. The Shape of Water is a monster movie, a spy thriller, and a romance, and it gets all of that right. It's gorgeously surreal, a fable that shows a masterful filmmaker at the height of his powers. I am a del Toro fan, but I highly recommend The Shape of Water to anyone excited by the premise. Okay, The Disaster Artist is directed by and starring James Franco, and he does a great job. It's a pointed and sometimes very funny and occasionally tragic and really uncomfortable docudrama based on the true story behind the making of the cult classic film The Room. It's essentially the tale of 2 misfits who move to L.A. from San Francisco and try to live the Hollywood dream by making their own feature film, and then find that their strange symbiotic friendship is challenged by the situation. It all starts when Tommy Wiseau, who is this odd, long-haired guy of indeterminate age and hilariously odd accent, and inexplicably deep pockets. He's got a lot of money. He meets Greg Sestero, who's a nice guy in his late teens. They're both in a San Francisco acting class and not very good, and they both bond. And this relationship continues in Los Angeles, where Tommy decides to shoot his magnum opus, co-starring himself and Greg, and the movie proceeds through the production itself all the way to completion and the movie premiere. Franco is hilarious as Tommy, and heartbreaking too, and poignant. And Dave Franco, his brother, is a perfect complement as Greg. And their peers, including Seth Rogen, Alison Brie, Zac Efron, and Ari Grainer, are all on board as well, and they are all just right. You even get Oscar nominee Jackie Weaver in a small role, and Franco and Rogen's kind of mentor, director Judd Apatow, has a cameo. And The Disaster Artist is no disaster. It's actually very good, kind of wacky and genuinely moving. A fellow critic likened it to a modern version of Tim Burton's Ed Wood, but this is much funnier and just as sweet and tragic on some levels. By the way, if you go, please stay until all the credits roll. I'm impressed with The Disaster Artist, and I think that James Franco shows some serious skill as a director as well as an actor. Okay, Wonder Wheel is the latest from Woody Allen, a period drama set on Coney Island in the early 1950s. Humpty, that's his name, and Ginny are a working-class husband and wife, both on their second marriages, both a little prone to abusing booze and struggling to pay the bills. Because of all their issues, they face marital and family problems that accelerate in the film. They live in a shabby shack of an apartment located behind the Wonder Wheel Ferris wheel on the boardwalk in Coney Island. He runs the merry-go-round on the boardwalk. She's a waitress at the Clam House, and all is quiet desperation until Carolina, Humpty's seductive 20-something daughter from his first marriage, comes back into his life, and Ginny's junior-age high son from her first marriage starts manifesting serious emotional problems. Compounding things, Mickey, a young, handsome, carefree grad student with a summer job as a lifeguard on the beach. And, of course, Mickey has a yen for both Ginny and Carolina. The triangle will be problematic. In now expected fashion, Woody pulls together a polyglot cast, mixing reliable stars and very unlikely fellow cast members, such as Jim Belushi as Humpty, who does a fine job here considering he's going toe-to-toe with Kate Winslet as Ginny. There are some standout performances, especially Winslet, and as Carolina, Juno Temple, the young actress who's the daughter of director Julian Temple. And I've yet to see Justin Timberlake give a bad performance anywhere, whether it's music, film, or sketch comedy, and he's solid as Mickey, who essentially narrates Wonder Wheel. I will say that it was a little too on the nose to have a couple of Tony Soprano's guys as the designated mafia thugs here, but hey, it's a beautiful looking movie. Remarkable art direction and effects. They've made this tawdry dream vision and evocation of post-war Coney Island using a lot of CG technology, but it's seamless. Unfortunately, the script is a little hackneyed, with like the occasional homage to Eugene O'Neill and kitchen sink drama. All that's pretty obvious considering Allen's references to the dramatist's work in the dialogue. The movie just, shall we say, spins its wheel a little. It's so lovely, so professionally executed with such nice performances, and yet the sense that there's a lot that's off in the film. Okay, let's wrap with The Other Side of Hope. In what he says is his last movie, the generally whimsical Finnish writer-director Aki Kaurismäki gets a little serious with The Other Side of Hope. Despite the humor and musical interludes and an odd couple premise, this film has some serious stuff to say about the current refugee crisis. That's all very clear since The Odd Coupling consists of a Finnish poker-playing, ex-traveling salesman turned restaurateur who starts his own restaurant after his marriage breaks up, and a Syrian refugee who comes to Helsinki and basically is refused asylum and ends up working for the guy. It's very tender. It's funny. It has some serious dramatic content. Although Kaurismäki first broke on the international scene in '89 with Leningrad Cowboys Go America, which was sort of delightfully wacky, this new movie has plenty of wit, but says most of it about the human condition. It won the Best Director award at Berlin. It's a top drawer movie. The Other Side of Hope. If you don't mind the subtitles and the culture clashes, I recommend that you check this out. One quick note, there's a documentary called Naples 44, basically about a British soldier who comes back to Naples, who experienced the city during World War II. And it's kind of a strange mix of archival footage, movie clips. Benedict Cumberbatch basically does the narration from this guy's book. Pretty fascinating stuff if that's what you're interested in. What are you watching and listening to or enjoying on TV?
I watch probably the best Western I've seen in recent memory. It's on Netflix, and it is 7 episodes, and it's called Godless. And it is just phenomenal. And it is something that you chew on, and you have to chew through 6 of the episodes to get to the 7th episode, which is the best third act I've ever seen written for a film or a movie, or television show. It is phenomenal. And the standout performances by almost everybody in the cast, including Jeff Daniels, who plays against type by being just the most evil bad guy you've ever seen on the screen. It is just breathtaking, the whole show. So
great. Well, glad to hear there's something worth seeing out there. I will check back with you, I guess, in a week, and we'll see if we have more new movies and such. In the meantime, people can follow me.
If you don't have any new movies, then don't call.
Well, of course. Would I?
Yeah.
You can check me out on Twitter at Culture Blaster and on Facebook at Michael Snyder's Culture Blast page.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. And there's more GABNet coming right up.